The next speaker that we're going to be introducing is going to liven our spirits. It's going to shake our boots. I want you to put your hands together for Ron Garverick. He is our next speaker of the day. He is the automotive architect. Put your hands together for Ron.
It's actually Garverick, so it's all right. All right, how's everybody doing today? Having a great time? I'm going to tell you a story. It's going to be inspiring because it's a story about me. When I was born, I was a young child, and my siblings, cousins, and everybody was in their preteens, and I was just a young little brat that nobody wanted to have anything to do with because they were thinking about sex and drinking and partying and cruising Main Street. So every time I came around, they were like, go away, go away, go away. It's like, all right, that's cool. You're never going to amount to anything. Okay, that's cool. So I played around by myself, little, if you all remember the little Hot Wheel cars in the dirt. I played a lot of cars in the dirt. So growing up in life, I was a shy kid because no one ever wanted to talk to me, and I just stood around and never had anything to say because no one ever wanted to listen. And then I grew up a little bit, got into my junior high years, and puberty hit, and had all the acne in the world. People called me pizza face. Had a gap between my teeth that you can kick a field goal through. And then I had these birth control glasses, and if you were in the military, you would know what these things were called because I had lenses that were out because I had an inner ear infection when I was a kid, so this eye was always closed. So, and my parents, they smoked in the house, so I was the smelly kid, so I was an ashtray. So going to school and wanting to date the beautiful cheerleader was not on my list, or say I wasn't on her list. So one day in school, we had a new basketball coach. He couldn't say my name correct, so it was always Garlic instead of Garverick. But I wanted to be popular. I wanted people to know who I was. So I took that garlic and I brought it to school. Because in this math class, he was in a trailer and the vents were on the floor. So every morning, he would go into his teacher meetings and left the room completely empty. So I raided my mom's cabinets in the kitchen, and I brought out all the garlic powder and all the garlic salt in the world. Because if I accomplished this, then people would know who I was. Right? So I poured it in there. Turned the heat up, poured some more. Poured it all in there. Turned the heat up again. And then I walked out. Let's say I had detention for 30 days. But guess what? He knew how to say Garverick, didn't he? So everybody started to know who I was, but nobody ever wanted to say Garverick. They said Garv. So in my high school years, I was known as Garv. Not Ron, not Ronald. Well, did I mention in elementary school, Ronald was really popular with Ronald McDonald, Ronald Reagan? So they called me Garv. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian after that because people laughed. So my set was, I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live because that's where Adam Sandler was. That's where Chris Farley was. And that was where Ron Garverick was going to be. And then I got a girl pregnant. And she had an abortion. I fought it because I didn't want to lose a child, but I was 18 and she just turned 16. It's my first loss. I'm going to speed this up because I know I got 5 minutes. So I didn't get a chance to go to Hollywood and become an actor because my dad wouldn't let me. 2 years later, I'm in a hospital and my dad's in bed in a coma because he's about to die of cancer. So the family hurries up and they go there and they tell him goodbye and it's okay to go and whatnot. But he wouldn't go. So I whispered in his ear, "Hey, Dad, it's okay. I love you." First time I ever seen my dad cry and the last time I seen my dad cry. He woke up out of that coma, looked right at me, smiled, took his last breath. Speed up. A few years later, I was talking to my grandma and I said, "Grandma, you're 80 years old. Aren't you tired of living?" She said, "Well, that was rude." I said, "Well, nobody comes and sees you but me, right?" You think it's funny, but 2 weeks later, she died. Me and God didn't have a good relationship because every time I turned around, he was taking everything I loved away. I went to drinking. I went to womanizing. I went to manipulating people to get what I want because I called myself the IRS. I got what it takes to take what you got. And I got everything that I ever wanted, but it wasn't in all the right reasons. I had a path that I was going down, and it wasn't the path that God wanted me to go. I hated him. I despised him. But I was still going down this right road that I thought was the right road. Nothing was going right. So one day, I just grabbed a revolver gun. And I put a bullet in there. And I spun it. And I put it to my head. Okay. And I threw it across the room. I'll play chicken with the semi-truck. That'll end it. We're on a very busy highway, and there was no trucks. Remember when I told you that my family said I would never amount to anything, and everything I would do, I'd screw up? You have to be a loser if you screw up trying to kill yourself. Right? Fast forward. Oh, and I went through a divorce, and I went through all this other kind of stuff. Almost lost my daughter. And then I started working for a car dealership. It's like, God, I don't want to be a liar, manipulator, a crook, and con artist, and everything you know about car dealers, because I've already lived that life. He goes, no, you go this route. I said, okay. So I go this route. And then everything started clicking. I started making money. I was happy. People liked me. I was funny. Because when you fall down, you have to look up to get up. And I fell down, and I finally accepted God in my life. And he looked at me and said, this is where I wanted you to go the whole time. Why would you fight with me if this is the direction I wanted you to go? I said, I'm sorry, but I had to do it my own way. And he goes, I know, I understand, but guess what? What happened? You let people judge you. You let people get down on you. You let everything in your life determine your reality because of their opinion. And once you let yourself become who you wanted to be, that's who you are. That's who you will become. I look at you guys all today, and I see so much potential in each and every one of you. The life that we're living right now is the life that God wanted us to live. The direction that we're going, the reason you're here today is because God had a plan for you. And the plan that you're going on today is where you're going to find your destination. You're going to find your purpose. I had a Facebook message this morning from a lady. Her dad was one of my coaches. And I left a message. I said, God is good. And this is what he used to say to us when we would run on Sunday or in the summer. And it's called a fun run. And this is the cadence that we said. I refuse to lose. Repeat this. I refuse to lose. Never give up. Never give in. I'm not tired. You're not tired. Refuse to lose. Never give up. Never give in. I'm not tired. You're not tired. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ron Garverick, and I am the automotive architect.